Okay. Hey, it's me, Angel Benton, and this is take two because my retarded ass cut off the video halfway in between last time, so I apologize for that. I'm going to be talking about Days of Our Lives, I promise. And it might sound like I'm talking fast, but I want to get as much in as I possibly can. So that's why I'm going to be talking fast. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to tell you what I did today. Today I went and I got my hair cut and colored. Cute, right? I didn't shave because it's still the middle of No Shave November. So I can't wait till that crap is over because I'm over this facial hair. And when I got home from the salon all day today, I've just been watching Steps, which is this UK supergroup. People in America probably still don't know who they are for the most part, but they are incredible. I'm sorry, this hair is driving me crazy. Anyways, so Steps. They're awesome, right? And I was watching, because they broke up in like 2001, and I cried real tears. I was so upset when they broke up. It was really devastating. And then they got back together and they had this reunion special, and I watched, it was a 4-part special. I saw the whole thing. And then after that, they had a On the Road Again special with like 6 different parts to it. I watched everything that I could, and then I just started watching music videos. I mean, I just love Steps. So I have a Steps anecdote for you, right? Okay, so picture it, 1997, I'm living in Japan, and I hear on the radio this, cute little poppy song, 5, 6, 7, 8. And, being a dancer, I know, I get that. I love 5, 6, 7, 8. Whenever I take someone's picture using like their phone, I never say 1, 2, 3. I always say 5, 6, 7, 8, just like, you do when you're a dancer. Anyways, it was a cute song. It was really cute. And my roommate and best friend Shane, shout out to Shane, we loved that song. We're like, wow, this is really cool. And another thing that we used to do is we used to get these pop magazines, these teeny bopper pop magazines from England. We would get them at Tower Records, and then we would spend the whole day reading all about them. And one of the things that we read about was this new group called Steps. And we're like, we've got to get their CD. If it's as good as this song, it's going to be pretty fucking good. So we got their CD. It's called Step One. And that shit was the best. It was awesome. We wore the hell out of that CD. It was incredible. And my favorite song off of that CD was actually ended up being their lead single here in the United States. And it was called One for Sorrow. And I didn't know this at the time because it's very subliminal, but the reason why I loved One for Sorrow so much, it actually, the background track for One for Sorrow, is the exact same background track as The Winner Takes It All by ABBA. Now, they've redone the whole vocal and the whole lyrics and verses and melody. It's all different. That is all different. But the background track, the chord progressions, those are all exactly the same. And so that's why I love that song so much, and I didn't even know it, because I was like, this really reminds me of ABBA. I love me some ABBA, right? So anyways, okay, so I wore that shit out, and then we came back to the United States in 1998, and Steps was nowhere to be found because their record label here in the States, Jive Records, made the brilliant decision, and by brilliant I mean not brilliant at all. In fact, it was pretty fucking stupid, to not release their music except to Radio Disney. That's great if you're like 6 years old. But, those of us that are older that actually would have liked their music, we didn't get to hear it because who listens to Radio Disney, right? Although I will say One for Sorrow was included on one gay porn compilation CD a million years ago, but that was it. No one else in this country had any idea who Steps was, right? Well, and I want to say that they actually predated Britney Spears because they came out in 97, and Britney didn't come out until 1998. Now, if you count Britney and the Mickey Mouse Club, they don't go back that far. But if you're just counting her pop career, then they predate her pop career by a year. But anyways, she actually asked them to be her opening act for her very first tour. Now, if you'll recall, I won the Britney Spears lookalike contest for that tour, and I got to go backstage, and that's when all that mishigas happened. But one of the highlights of my day that day, despite it being a very shitty day for me, one of the highlights of it was that I got to meet Steps, and I was so excited. Like, you don't understand. And they were so nice, so friendly. They were incredible. Now, I spent most of my time talking with Lisa, Faye, and H, but Lee and Claire were also there too, and they were very nice. But everyone was just so wonderful, and that was like the high. And I took pictures with them, and afterwards, my dancers were like, we saw them, and they were like, God, they're great. I was like, you've got to seriously get their CD. So I burned them copies of Step One, and we all listened to it. And when we flew back out to New Orleans right after to meet Brittany, we didn't get to see Steps again, but we saw them on stage, and of course they knew it was us because we were the only ones that knew all the words, and they loved me because I knew who they were. I was someone in America that actually knew who Steps was, and I was just totally fangirling out over them. I fucking loved them. They were great, right? Okay, so then fast forward a couple of months, and I think it's like October of 1998, 99, excuse me, it's 99 at this point, and Steps is filming a special at Disneyland, right? So, and now remember, I'm working at Disneyland at the time. I was in the Mulan Parade. I was a standby, and that meant that I filled in for other people when they called out. I basically learned every part in the show. So this particular day, I remember I was a Chinese soldier, and I had like a full on face of Chinese makeup. It was very Cirque du Soleil-ish, right? So I'm walking back through, and I hear this dun 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 dun, and I stopped dead in my tracks. I mean, it didn't even take that long. It took like the first two chords, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's Tragedy. That's Steps. Are they here?" And and they didn't have any security or anything, so I just walked right into the rehearsal hall. And I will never forget, I walked in, and H, the first thing he says is, "Oh, it's Brittany." I mean, it was really cool. And then I got to catch up with them, and it was really sweet. And apparently the breakup was not that that was very acrimonious, not that amicable. And the whole that's why this whole show was so fascinating to me, because if you, as an audience member, I had no idea. I had no idea that they were fighting so much, and it was great though. So I just wanted, that's my Steps anecdote for today. I have an anecdote about BB Mac. I'll tell you about that tomorrow. But I do want to get to Days of Our Lives because I only have a couple minutes left in this video, and I do want to spend a little bit of time talking about Days of Our Lives. Okay, so Days of Our Lives. You remember last time when I was talking about General Hospital, I was talking about how irritated I was that President Obama decided to have his press conference right in the middle of my fucking soaps. I hate that shit. I hate it. So I was like, okay, whatever. One day, now this was the day that Abigail came back, right? I missed that entire episode because of fucking President Obama's press conference. Look, I don't have a problem. Like I said, I don't have a problem if he has press conferences, and especially if it's like something dangerous, like we're under a terrorist attack. There's a tsunami warning. Tornadoes are hitting, or just something like earth-shattering. I'd be like, okay, that's fine. But it was just to talk about how this is his last press conference before he goes away to Europe, and he wants to talk about the transitioning of the team. I'm like, really? That couldn't have been done in the morning? You got to wait until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which is, actually, no, it would be 4:30 their time, actually, it started at 3:30 and it went until close to 5. So, on the East Coast. So, on my time, that was right in the middle of my soaps. So, I missed that entire day. So, I'm reading all on Twitter about how Abigail was acting and she was fierce. And no one else. I missed it. I missed the whole fucking thing. So, I was really, really pissed off about that. It really irritated me. But I will say I like the new Abigail, and she is making the most of what she's got. And no offense to Kate Mansi, but she looks a lot more like Jennifer Horton than Kate Mansi did, right? I also want to mention real quick, I loved Adrian's non-wedding that she had, because of Philip paying Kate money when it didn't go through. It was pretty fierce. That was hilarious. That made me laugh. I love shit like that. Anyways, so thank you so much for logging on today. I do appreciate it. Tomorrow I'll tell you my BB Mac story and I'll talk about Young and the Restless. So follow me on Twitter at Angel Benton. You can also hashtag days to talk days of our lives with me. And you should check out the Steps series on YouTube. Just everything about them. Steps. They're awesome. Okay, take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Peace out. Wubba, wubba, wubba.